So hi, well, the Good Noise Podcast. I'm Shane,
I'm Glory.
and we're here with.
This is Zach from Zachary Ross and the Divine and Man Overboard.
And we're asking some questions today about their upcoming EP, Rebuilding Heaven. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to the announcement so far?
I'm really excited. I mean, at the time of us recording this, we only announced the EP a few hours ago, but people have been really nice to me about the music that we've put out so far, and the response to what we've done so far has been really heartwarming for me.
The EP's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, it's like I said, I was really kind of nervous. I hadn't put music out for a while, but everybody's if there are people out there that don't like it, then they're just not talking to me, which is fine too.
Good.
The
Yeah.
haters are still in the shadows right now.
Yeah, probably, but they're not being too loud, so
That's good.
Exactly.
I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah.
Good.
Good. I hope they stay in the shadows.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course. So is there any meaning behind the EP title or cover art?
Yeah. Well, I think I've always had like an artistic not obsession, but I've always been very interested in like angels and stuff. And I had a little side project I did between this and Man Overboard called Bright Green, and we had like angel themes, and there was we made a record called That's Heaven Behind Me. But honest, it's silly, but the record's called Rebuilding Heaven, our new one, and I really look at it like getting my little slice of the earth back in order. I wasn't playing music for a few years, and that took its toll on me, I guess, or made me realize that I really need to be, and that's what I'm supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I was happiest, and I'm trying to get that back together for myself. And so and like I said, I've always romanticized, I think I'm spiritual, the old cliche, but not super religious. But I've always romanticized angels and heaven and all that stuff. I think it's cool and poetic and beautiful. So, but like the literal meaning, I guess, would be like, yeah, we're trying to start a new band, and me and my friends want life to be awesome.
Fuck yeah.
That's so cool. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like rebuilding because I did this. We had Man Overboard. I'm the only one from the Divine who was in Man Overboard, but it was this thing that was really nice for me mentally. Playing music all the time, that being the only thing I do, and I'm just trying to get back to it.
I'm glad you're getting back to it.
That makes me so happy. Yeah, I'm happy you're rebuilding your heaven. You're rebuilding paradise. That's good.
Well, it's like at the risk of sounding so corny, you know what I mean? Like when I thought of that, I probably didn't imagine having to explain it to anyone. But it's super cheesy, but thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. Just rebuilding heaven over here,
Yeah, it's the good cheesy. It's okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for this EP?
Yeah, sure. It's interesting because there'll probably never be anything else like it again. And for me, I mean, there wasn't before, and there probably won't be after. And the reason is, so it's a 5-song EP, and 3 of the songs I wrote kind of thinking they were going to be Man Overboard songs. And I'm talking over a year ago. COVID happened. And then just like life kind of like, I'm throwing zero shade. I talk to everyone in Man Overboard every day. I love them. Life happened though. People have babies, move, career opportunities, whatever. Life blossomed. And when life blossoms, it's usually beautiful. And it was. So some songs that I had written for Man Overboard are like, probably be a while before Man Overboard can do these. And there's a lot of reasons I wouldn't want to wait. I mean, I would just get backed up and just it's not like I stopped writing songs just because we're not putting them out. It would just become this like backlog, which I hate that idea. And then the other thing is just like, as like I said, there's no bad blood between any of us. So it started to turn into in my head, like, well, why don't I just, make another band? Man Overboard's not going anywhere, and Man Overboard's not doing anything, but it's like, that's we're not going anywhere. We're also not doing anything. I mean that in, like, the best way. It's not going anywhere. We're not going to lose it.
Mm-hmm.
Not breaking up.
Just
We don't have any.
hiatus.
There's no drama. Like, I don't need to worry about that. So why don't I just go do my own thing? So in the meantime, almost, or just, we're getting older, and I realize I can't count on 5 other human beings to do my thing, quote unquote. You know what I mean? So I need to, like, build some sort of thing for myself that I can do without them, pretty much. And so 2 of the songs, though, were written kind of after I had realized that. Push Start, the one that just came out, is one that was written after I realized this was going to be like a different band.
Mm-hmm.
A Light Over Massachusetts, the first thing we released, was going to be a Man Overboard song in my mind when it came out. But it's just like a chronological thing. There was no big moment. So it was like, once I realized, hey, I had talked to our agent, and I had talked to Matt over at Smart Punk Records, and Steve, my producer, and everyone was encouraging me to do this solo project. So once I was or make a new band, whatever it is. So once I decided that's what's going to happen, it's like, all right, what are some good songs I'm sitting on right now? Mm-hmm. So we have those 3, which, probably would have been Man Overboard songs. But, like, the way I look at it is, it's weird and then funny to think that, like, I can imagine them all with me and Nick singing them, and that would have been, like, beautiful and cool. And I would say this with him right sitting next to me, I'd rather them just get out. I'd rather people just hear them now. So like I said, Nick's not going anywhere, and, God forbid, no one in my band's going anywhere. And when we get together next to make music, we'll make the music that we make then.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I was at with it. So yeah, 2 songs are actually tracks 1 and 2 were written after I knew. And then once you hit track 3, they all would have been Man Overboard songs after that.
Love that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you go. I'll ask my question after.
Okay. So, like, obviously you're making it sound like at some point Man Overboard will come back. Is your plan to kind of keep this creative outlet going even when that band kind of comes back, or is it going to fizzle out once you're able to kind of do Man Overboard again?
To be honest with you, my plan is to keep it going, even if when Man Overboard comes back. I look at it like, simply put, Man Overboard can make records forever, and we can still come to your town and stuff, but we're never going to be that band who's in your town 4 times a year. Ever again. Yeah. We're never gonna people have that we're never gonna be that full-time kind of up your ass thing ever again.
Yeah.
Well, and that's well and good, but we can just talk about earthly things. Money. I need money, right? I don't want to this is what I do. I want to play music, and I've been blessed enough with people that like listening to my music enough that it can be a career for me. So I look at it, to answer your question, as like, I get this going, and then I don't need to stress about what Man Overboard does and when they do it, because when a good opportunity arises itself with Man Overboard and everyone's on the same page and wants to do it, I'll be down. But I know that whatever that cool thing is that we get together for, it's like going to be a month of my life at the most. It's never going to be like this thing. So I want to establish something I can always go back to. That's kind of like, I would like, outside of like some other type of genres I would like to make one day. I would hope that like the rest of my career, that everything I write that's like within this wheelhouse of this genre is either a Man Overboard song or a Divine song. One or the other, probably for the rest of time now.
All right.
Gotcha. And I'd also like to touch on something that you briefly said, where you don't like to have like a backlog of songs. So let's say like you're working on an album, right? You write 40 songs, you only use 10 of them. Do those remaining 30 just kind of get discarded, even like if they're fully formed songs, because you just don't like to, I guess, reuse them? You don't like to have a backlog. You only like to write fresh stuff for whatever project you're working on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's almost the reverse of what you said. So what happens is, sadly, those songs don't get used usually.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I don't like it happening, because they
Yeah.
don't like, and the reason they don't is because, well, so let's say 30 songs, like you said, didn't make the album.
Mhm.
So now we're going to go on tour for the next 6 months. So what's going to happen? I'm going to be playing guitar in the van, or we're going to have band practice one day, or I'm going to have a bad night. Songs are going to get written now
Yeah.
in this little period, and then, you know, that as human beings, I think everybody is like the similar in this situation. You're like, oh, I like the new one, I want to do, you prioritize that new idea, and it just never gets prioritized. Ever has to be, and I feel like it almost takes years at that point. It has to wrap back around in your mind, and you go like, oh, remember that awesome thing. It has to be long enough that you like kick yourself for having it been so long.
Yeah.
Like, and so I just know that you're opening a big can of worms and risking it potentially like never being heard.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I try to combat it now, because it's like, I'll try to stop writing. No, I have a good amount of songs. I don't write anymore because they'll just go to waste. It's like making too much food.
Yeah.
Go waste. But I don't think that's like a healthy way for me to write music, but that's what it's how it's been.
Fair enough.
That's crazy. So your process is just so easy that you have to stop yourself from writing so many tracks? Like it just comes to you that easily?
Yeah, I guess so. It's very natural. I wouldn't call it, it's a very natural, it feels very like eating or bathing or breathing to me. It's just something I do, or talking. Yeah, it's kind of easy. I don't think it's always good, but it's easy. I don't think you guys hear my bad stuff.
Yeah.
But
it's a filtering system, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, I show it to, I have a circle, and I my friends or people I make music with, or people who are in the band, or people who record the records, and I can kind of gauge is the people around me feeling this, you know? And then I think I can kind of like I could show, if you guys were, if I hung out with you two every day, I would show you probably like 30 songs, and I wouldn't be like, here, let's sit down, listen. I would just always be, I would pay attention to which ones you guys were like, oh shit, that's good. You know what I mean? And I keep little notes. So, and it's like, I've been writing songs since that whole thing I just described, that, you know, is very familiar to me at this point too. I remember writing songs on like GarageBand in like 9th grade, and I had like a couple girls in my school I would send them to or whatever. And I remember like I would write like one song, and like 2 different girls at school would be like, I put that on my iPod.
Oh my God.
And I would be like, oh, that's the one. I wasn't like a band or any, like I had probably like a punk band or something, but this was just me like, yo, listen to this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably where it all started. And then I'd be like, oh, 2 people have this on their iPod. That's probably a good one. So then that whole process just evolved with life. You know?
Yeah. Sure. And I'm sure it keeps you humble as well, because you could be like, oh my God, this is so good. I'm so good at this. And then you show it to somebody and they're like, maybe you should work on it a bit more.
No, it's like, it's sick. That's sick, dude. Good job. And I'm like, what? That sounded insincere.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, no, absolutely. It's usually people in my band, and they're not mean about anything. It's not like anyone's like, oh, that's unfortunate. People are like, to me, I don't like that, but they'll be like, okay. And then I'll show them another song though, and they'll be like, yes, dude, yeah. And I know the difference, you know, and it's like, fine, that's cool. That's for me to discern, and for them to just live their life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's how it's like that with the guys in the Divine, and to a degree, it was like that with Man Overboard too.
That's good. I'm very happy to hear that.
Yeah.
So I want you to tell us your favorite lyric off this EP and the meaning behind it.
Okay, just my favorite. I have to think about it like quickly, because there's a bunch. It's got to be something in Push Start. That's his song that came out, that we put the video out for at the day we're recording this. because that's I'm trying to think of what line. It's got to be something from that though, because I don't write songs like that a lot. Oh, it's the first line of the song. I say, "Don't be alarmed, honey. It's not a secret. You're out here pining over people you would have loved to be with." And then I say, "You hate to see it," right after that. And then I say, in the next line, I say, "You're getting ghosted all the time." So that whole like quip is my favorite because I love like talking how people talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. I love for me that I said, "You hate to see it." And then I said, talked about getting ghosted. And it just feels very sassy and all the things I like to be without being like, it's not like depressing. We were recording that song and my producer turned to me, he's like, "The song's not sad." Kind of like being like, everything you have ever written since you were 22 years old has been very depressing. He was like, "The song's not sad." And I was like, "It's not, huh?" And then one of the engineers was mixing the drums. I think it was Alex, was like mixing one day and came in the room, was like, "This song's cocky." And I was like, our producer's like, "What do you mean?" And apparently he was like, "Who puts this out? Who says this?" And when I heard that, I was like, that rules.
That's going out now.
I got to put it out now. Yeah.
So yeah, it's that first couple lines of Push Start. And the meaning is like exactly what it's everybody sees you. I say, "You're out here pining over people you would have loved to be with. You're just so clearly chasing every single car that drives past your building like a little dog." And everybody's like, good luck with that. It's a very like judgmental kind of bitchy song, you know? But it's a song also about being rejected. So you're pulling from like some sort of place of strength and being like, "I'm not going to get upset about this. I'm just going to call you a loser and go hang out with my friends."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is like, in a way more mature to me than like getting all bent out of shape.
Absolutely.
Stuff.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You know, so I like it because I don't portray the high road or maturity or things a lot. So it feels cool.
Mm-hmm. Hell
For
yeah.
sure. I love that.
So can you tell us where your headspace is at while you were writing this EP?
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It was all over the place. It was to be honest with you guys, it wasn't great. It was not great. I did not know, it's like I said, there's no bad blood with Man Overboard, but there was uncertainty on my end. What do I do now? That was dark. It took a few years to figure out. And it turned out the answer is like, just make another band, idiot. So a lot of it's like dealing with that. Then like my headspace is, man, like I lost all my confidence in everything who I was for a little bit. The girls there were girls that I dated during Man Overboard. I've been broken up with for being like full of myself and cocky. Like, I swear to God, like not like broken up with, but been like, wow, they're bitching me out. Like, and here's another thing about you.
Oh.
And that maybe it was true. I'm not saying it wasn't, but there's something happened where over the last few, my idea of myself, how I thought of me went from here, like through the like 2018, 2019, 2020. I don't think I thought really highly of myself. And I remember thinking, I used to be so full of myself, and now I'm the opposite. Like I knew that I was not as proud of myself as I should be. I was just like, now I'm under proud, like LOL. And like, but it was like dark. Like I was like seriously thinking like that. And that's because I hadn't just taken the step or the risk or whatever to try to start my own band and my own project. So I had, like identity crisis, trying to like be this guy who used to be in a band, and it taking like a few years to realize like you're probably going to be a guy who's in a band forever, and there's nothing wrong with that. And then kind of like, aren't you like happier when you're in a band? Like, this is me talking to me,
Yeah.
like, and it's not like, and it's not like we were the biggest band in the world. It's not like I'm the most, it's not like I'm anything but like, how many people are lucky enough to be like, if I just go out there and do it,
it'll happen.
Like it'll be like good enough. Like it'll be good enough for me. I have a lot of advantages at this point, and I have a lot of things in my corner. And when I was able to put on a bit tougher of a face, I saw all that. And but yeah, it's almost like I was like keeping this shell up. Like, I don't think you'll ever like pick up on that in any of the songs. Maybe I could be wrong, but the songs are about what they're about, like what I've always written about. There's a song called Weapon on the new EP that's just about asking a girl who dumped you to take you back. Like the most basic thing I could ever write a song about, like the most me shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ever. And there's a song about Tim and stuff, which, like I said, would have been Amanda. 3 of the songs would have been. I guess my point is, I don't think I was very like groundbreaking or anything as a result of any of this with like my music, but I don't think it was about that.
Yeah.
I think it was about like it was about like, no, go do the shit that you can do that everybody likes. Go do it. Go do it. You're a hockey player. Go play hockey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I obviously I don't want to get too in depth in this, and you can tell me to shut up if you want, but like you said you had an identity crisis kind of while writing this because the band kind of fizzled out and you didn't really know what to do. Were you thinking about like moving past music and doing something else? Were you thinking about other genres? Like kind of what was going on in that time, as much as you kind of want to talk about it?
No, you're fine, man. I thought about doing stuff other than music, not because it would make me happy. Well, there was all sorts of things going through my head. I can paint cars. I was working in an auto body shop for Ford and BMW for a bit. It's a union job. It's a very good job. People work there for, 30 years and retire and send their kids to school. And it was a very good job. I could have stayed there forever. I had a nice house and painted cars. And I was just like, it's not, there were days that I was like, that's what I'm going to do. Because I'll have all this like money without having to like tour, not all this, but like I'll have enough money without having like a normal person amount of money.
You don't have to live out of a van.
I won't have to like travel or like do anything. And when I want to make music, I'll be able to just do whatever I want because I got this job. It's not like just use the job. That sounded good on paper. I'm going to use the job to bankroll whatever creative endeavors I want to do. But what I learned is when you're giving yourself to a job like I had, like I went out and got myself like a real adult, that for at least me personally, when I am somewhere else for 40 hours, even if it's physically, I can't be, if I'm there, then I'm not here. So like basically it's like, oh, I'm going to get this really good job and then get a new band back together and we'll see what's going on. And you kind of put the band on the back burner and you go, I'm working on a project right now, my next thing. But for now, I'm trying to get this union position. What happens? You get the union position. It's just all those days you came home from work and you just played PlayStation and smoked a blunt because you were tired. That's understandable. That's understandable. When you're trying to make something like happen for yourself, you need all that energy. So once I realized that like nothing, I was just going in this like thing that wasn't gonna, I was trying to kind of like keep my feet in both pools. You know what I mean? Like you said, man, whether I do something in another genre or I produce someone, just like still be Zach somehow. But like be this like family guy too. But I realized like I don't really have any interest in the latter. the older I got, I realized that like I went through a little phase, I think, where people around me were like doing those things, buying homes and having their second child and stuff. And like, I think I went through a little phase where I was like, oh yeah, like maybe that's what I'm supposed to be doing right now. But then that phase ended and I realized that like, just like everybody else, like we like who we are in 2022, you know, that's
Absolutely.
like where society's at. Like,
Yeah.
I'm living in the same world as you guys. It's like, eventually it's like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with how I live? Like nothing. Like, so yeah, but I was thinking about, I never wanted to not play music anymore, but like, and also to answer your question, when I was doing this stuff with the car, I love cars. Like I convinced myself that was going to be cool. I do love cars, but like, yeah, there was things I didn't notice until I stopped going to my normal job. Like, I don't want to listen. I didn't listen to anything that the whole time I had a normal job. I didn't listen to any music that evoked something for real, like within me. Nothing that would make me want to write a song.
Okay.
That's what I realized. That's what I realized. But like, I wasn't consciously shutting myself down like that. I was in like emotional survival mode. Like nothing's going to depress you is almost what it felt like. But then, so if you flash forward a little bit, like I was telling you guys earlier, some people like my agent, friends and producer, but mostly my agent and producer, people who can make things happen, convinced me, well, you need to make a new band. And it's going to be, you know, more or less what they told me was it's because where my headspace was at then, what I needed to hear, and it was the truth, is they're like, it's going to be a lot better than you think if you just make a new band.
Yeah.
And don't make it sound too out there, but do you and be different, and just, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Once I was convinced of that, I realized I had been blocking myself out of listening to all that music. All of a sudden I'm allowed to, wait, why haven't I listened to this in like 2 years? Because it would have made me depressed. But then you're like,
wrote songs.
I didn't even realize that. It would be stuff that like anything that would, it's like I said, it was dangerous for a couple of years. Me getting inspired was dangerous because it could lead to some sort of depressive episode, honestly. Because I'm like, there's nowhere to sing it. There's no one to hear me.
Yeah. You would have sung it to the other mechanics.
Yeah, exactly. Dude. And that gets old. And then you work with these guys who are like, they find out about the band. Man, you're a rock star, man. What are you doing here? And that shit breaks your heart.
Yeah.
Because you're like, fuck, you're right,
dude. I shouldn't be here, man.
It's not like they think it is, but like in the reality, on the level that it really is, they're still like kind of right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're like, they think I like was living like Axl Rose or Motley Crue or something, which like you guys know was never like that, but like it was like something.
Yeah.
You know,
and you're doing the thing. So
I one day was looking at a job sheet, tells you in the shop, like, you know, what you're supposed to be doing at work that day. And I was staring at it, finding my name. This really cool dude that I worked with said, what are you doing, Zach? Think about where your life went wrong? And he was just joking. Patting me on, that's like guy, like shop humor. Slapped me on the back, kept walking, and I was like, dude, yeah, I wasn't.
But now I am.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That was like a serious thing for me. And there's nothing wrong with shops. There's nothing wrong with white collar work, blue collar work. I got that job because I wanted it. There's some things are you and some things are not you. And you cannot fit a square peg into a round hole. You get what I mean?
Yep.
So it's just like, it's I'm not knocking anybody. Like if you're listening to this and you work in shops, cool. I could talk to you about cars for hours. I know like a lot, but that is just, I couldn't do it anymore. It wasn't for me, you know? And it's just like anything. I don't think it's really unique. I don't think my situation is unique to me being a musician. Be a police officer, and give, God knows if you got sick of being a cop, I would understand. If you, my brother-in-law, and my sister both used to be teachers. They're have found other things they prefer to do. I don't think it's like an artist thing. So when I started looking at it on like that, like it's just a normal human level, go easy on myself. People career change all the time. Yeah. I just happen to be switching back to a cool one, which
exactly
is a little bit of a risk, but like I did it once, so like it's not.
You can do it again.
Yeah, well, you look at, even if I can't, right? You look at like Instagram, spend one day on TikTok and be like, all these dudes and girls out there are going for it, and they don't have any reason to believe that anything's going to come of this. Mm-hmm. It's just in here.
And you already had the success once, so calculations say
doing it again?
The chances of you having success again are highly likely.
Yeah, or at least they're like good enough to make me like get out of bed and try, like a little confident. It's just like I'm saying, you see all these people who don't have the advantages, didn't have a song that people love, they never played Warped Tour, all that stuff, and they're out there, they're doing it, they're showing their butts, and a lot of them are doing really good. So if these people can do all these incredible things and put themselves out there in all these different ways, whether they have an Etsy shop or they have a podcast like you guys, or they started a band, or they started a YouTube channel, then what am I doing?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It turned into that. And that's when the headspace kind of got like positive.
Hell yeah. Well, I appreciate you expanding on that a little bit.
No problem at all. Hey, if I wouldn't bring something up and then be like, nah, that's it, bro.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's all you're getting.
I would just not talk about it at all.
Yeah. That's right.
Perfect. It's I do think it's a lot. It's probably the most that I've hopefully I hope it's the most internally dramatic few years as a musician I've ever lived through, and I don't think there'll be anything like that again. Hopefully, the point of the divine is that I don't go through that again.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's like kind of answers your question from before too. Like if Man Overboard was to come back and do something next month, yeah, I'll be there. But we don't have to worry about when 2 months from now anymore.
Well, yeah, what happens after that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because that's on me. These guys all had in my band I'm emotionally lacking in a lot of ways and immature, and I don't think I was quite where my brain should have been at the age it was, as far as like having a backup plan or a 5-year plan or aspirations beyond Man Overboard. And that's like goes back to everything they did, and that's normal and that's good and cool. I kicked myself for many years for not having the aspirations, and I think that was like the bad times. I should have thought about getting a union job. I should have done something with the cars. I should have started to learn how to produce. I should have done something learn how to manage a band. I should have done this. I should have done that. All I did was think about how to write good songs. And then once I was like 30, it was like, well, dude, guess what? That's all you want to do anyway.
You can write a song. So there you go.
That's my thing. That's my thing, I guess. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Perfect. So how do you recommend your listeners to listen to this EP for the first time? Should they play in the car with friends, dark with headphones on? Should they blast at a party, work out to it? What do you personally recommend?
Wow. I've never even considered being asked that. I would personally recommend you listening to it leisurely. So I don't know, like it would depend on the individual, but if you listen to music sometimes while you're running, but you also listen to music while you're like doing dishes, listen to it while you're doing the dishes. If you listen to music, if you got like a 20-minute commute to work, that's cool because it's an EP.
It's just about 20 minutes long.
Listen to it when you can pay attention.
Okay.
That's all I want for out of people. I don't think there's some songs that I think are more, I think track 1 and 2 are kind of like spark a blunt and be with your friends in the car and be like, dude, look out, this is sick. But I think as like track 3 and as the record goes on, it starts to turn into more of a solo listen. be honest, a little bit. I think I'm less introspective on the front side of the record. So I think that if you were listening to it and you were looking for something to relate to emotionally, the stuff you'd really want to zero in on is towards the back side of the record. So maybe a blunt is good. Maybe you listen to smoking a blunt. Because in the beginning of the blunt, everybody's like, oh. But by the end of the EP, you'll all just be like,
Yeah.
And
All
listening.
All right.
So I would say smoke a blunt.
Sounds good.
Blunt.
All right. So this question should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this EP for new listeners in 3 words, no more, no less.
Classic rock emo.
There you go.
Perfect. All right. So is there a certain feeling or emotion you want this EP to invoke in your listeners?
Peace and release and happiness.
Oh,
I like that.
those are good picks.
Yeah.
Those are very good picks.
So what is your favorite memory that you made while creating this EP?
My favorite memory I made while creating this EP had to be going to, when we did Push Start and Telescope, we went out to LA and Travis, my bass player, came with me, which kind of blew my mind. It was when we were starting the band still, and nobody really, I had people saying things like, yeah, I'll play bass, and I'll be your drummer and stuff, but not like, I didn't know anyone was like gonna
Commit,
drop everything and go to California. And like he even said to me, he was like, oh, I want to go. He bought his own plane ticket and stuff. He's like, I feel like going to California and I feel like working on music and I want to show you my commitment to this project.
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, like exactly. I was like, damn, dude. And we just like being on the airplanes and having someone with me in the airport and stuff was cool because like the past few years I've done emo nights or I've done little records by myself or I've featured in people's stuff. I've had any kind of business I've done the past few years, any kind of flying or traveling for music I've done alone. I'm going on like 4 years of being at the airport alone or whatever it is. So it was so cool just the little things to have someone with me again. And it really helped feel like the ball was starting to roll. So really it's just like Travis like stepping up and being like, yo, I am a band member of this band and I'm coming with you. And it feels like everything like snowballed after that. And now we're like a real ass band. And so I would say Travis coming to California with me to record.
That's so wholesome.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And just like the shenanigans, like of traveling with your best friend to the other side of it. And him meeting the people who are so important to me, who I was working with, who helped do Man Overboard and stuff, and and you get your friend in this circle, and yeah, just traveling with Travis is great. It made me feel like alive after all that stuff we were just talking about.
Yeah.
A couple minutes ago, that was when I was like, I am alive.
Mm-hmm.
I am alive as fuck.
Yeah, that's so good. I'm very
you got
happy.
You get your boy being like, hell yeah, dude, because I'm gonna be in this fucking band too. Like, we're gonna do this, that. We're gonna fucking like, hell yeah, goddamn right, people are gonna like it and shit. And you're like, cool, like this is the vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Sure. So for this question, I want you to picture you're on tour. You're at a gas station for a rest stop. You're going in. What is your snack of choice?
I have to answer your question with a question.
Okay.
What time is it?
I always think it's like midnight or after midnight.
Okay.
Post show.
Awesome. I want a big bag of Pepperidge Farm goldfish, like the $3 bag.
Yeah.
Fat, full ass bag.
Mm-hmm.
Beef jerky, to be honest. Because you're talking, we're on tour, and it's the time you said, I'm blazed out of my fucking mind.
Okay, perfect. All right, so you're having the munchies right now. So these are
so
top
I want
snacks
a
right
big
now.
bag of goldfish. I get beef jerky when I'm super high at a rest stop, and sometimes I like to stand outside and lean on the building and eat it like a cowboy while they fill up the gas. we'd be getting blunts. Someone needs a lighter.
Mm-hmm.
I want like a pink drink, non-carbonated, some sort of like pink lemonade. A fruit punch would be fine, or strawberry lemonade.
It just has to be pink.
I like pink juice a
Okay.
lot. And I like chocolate a lot, so probably 2 Reese's cups.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it's a truck stop, something silly like a cowboy hat or sunglasses or something, a bandana that says like "Don't tread on me" or something.
I love trucks.
Oh yeah.
Make my friends laugh. Maybe be like, we'll be standing around and you get those like awesome mega mall truck stops in the middle of the country. They always have like sweet cowboy gear and stuff.
Yeah.
So then you always walk past it and you're like, what do you think? You hold up like a leather vest. You're like, what do you think of me?
Mm-hmm.
Because again, you're blazed.
Of course.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's like a lot of like munchy stuff. And then I really like, the beef jerky is like a guilty pleasure at this point in my life, but I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
Fair enough.
Are you like black pepper or teriyaki?
I like it all. I prefer teriyaki.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, but like I'm a jerky boy. Whatever you put in front of me, I'll be like, ooh, can
Can I have a piece?
So on the topic of food, if the project was a dish, what dish would it be and why?
We are we're definitely a pizza, but there's like weird shit on it. No. Never mind. We're just a pepperoni pizza, right? But we're just a pepperoni pizza being washed down with Budweiser, and there's a cigarette, and then afterwards 2 people split a little cake, but the rest of everybody else is too hungry to eat it. So we're just like some not nutritious, really tasty shit.
All right.
That's perfect.
Yeah, we're not good for you, but we taste really good.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So you got to fill in the blanks. I mean, like, you could make it whatever you want. We're a deep fried Oreo.
I've never had that.
They're fucking good.
Okay. You've had it, Shane?
I shouldn't, because they're technically not vegan, but they're fucking good. They're fucking good.
Yes. Not vegan at all.
No. I went to like a fair with my partner and a bunch of their friends, and they made me stand in line for like 30 minutes so they could all get fried Oreos, and I was like, well, I stood in this line, I'm getting some too. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, fuck it. Like,
that's like a when in Rome situation, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't have any. I drink these things called Huel. They're vegan. Have you ever heard of Huel?
No.
I'm not getting paid for this, I swear. But there's a company called Huel that makes these ready to drink complete vegan meals. I have like 2 of them a day. They're really good. They come whatever flavor. But
sounds like an ad.
Yeah, I know.
You have a promo code to share?
I actually don't, and I hit them up, like being like, "Give me one." To be honest with you, like when I looked at their socials, I was like, "I'm literally the person that talks about you the most in the world. Like, give me one."
Exactly.
But they didn't say anything back yet.
Damn.
Maybe because I said it like that. I'm just kidding. I didn't say it like that. But we're super unhealthy food, and we just want to rock and taste good.
Fuck yeah.
That's all we care about. So if there's some health benefit to eating us, it was a complete accident.
I love that so much.
All right.
That's perfect. All right.
There may be.
Possibly.
It's like the old people who are like, have you ever seen stories where it's like, this guy lived to be like 108, and every day he had a double cheeseburger and a pack of Newports, with that pack of Newports and double cheeseburger.
Hell yeah.
I have seen a similar story to that. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
That's you guys. Perfect. All right. So for these last couple questions, we're actually going to shift away from music, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Awesome. So we're actually going to go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
There's a bar in my hometown. Well, it's actually right over the city limit. So there's a bar in Maple Shade, New Jersey called Jay's Elbow Room.
Mm-hmm.
I've said this drunk many times in Jay's, so I can answer this very quickly. My death row meal is wings from Jay's. Every time I'm sitting at Jay's, that's Jay's Elbow Room, Maple Shade, Route 73, New Jersey.
This also sounds like an ad.
I know, but hey, I love Jay's. I turned 21 and 25 in Jay's.
Nice.
And,
Wow.
they were my only birthdays, like those years that I wasn't somewhere else. But so every time I'm eating wings at Jay's, I always am like, if I was on death row, that's like my thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely that. And that's like my hometown, like high school, bar. That's like where you don't go if you don't want to see people, that's like that's my that. So what was the other question? What I would have to drink?
Yes.
Can I have like a shot and a Coke too?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. Damn, but I would want water. There's so many drinks I love. I would want pink drink, but I would also want water and whiskey and Coca-Cola too. I really love drinks.
Make a jungle juice out of all of them.
I know. And then what if,
So gross.
and then what if your last drink is this concoction? Let's just say I'll say a super hard ass answer, at least in my opinion. I just want a tall 12-ounce glass of ice water.
All right.
That's good.
Hell yeah.
That's a good way to go.
Yeah. So if you could live in one fiction world for a week, where would you live?
Either Borderlands video game. I would either live on Pandora, just 'cause it's only a week, even though that's a hard place to survive. Thought about it, but it's a week. I think I can get by, and I've played a lot of Borderlands, so I could figure that out. Or the Shire, Lord of the Rings. Hell yeah, give me a Hobbit hole. I would like to stay way longer than a week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, or just put me on the Starship Enterprise with the Star Trek dudes. Oh no, never mind. I want to live in the turtles in the sewer with the Ninja Turtles.
We've never gotten that answer before.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
I want to live there. But or the other things. But really, the Hobbit hole. The Hobbit hole's a close second too. Who wouldn't want to? Bilbo Baggins' house seems so banging, and
It really does. Yeah.
When they're having that going away party, you're just like, dude, like these people are doing it right.
Exactly. I mean, 12 meals a day. Let's start with that.
Yeah, and they smoke a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The finest pipe weed and the finest Toby or whatever he says. And I would just be blowing sweet clouds that look like pirate ships and stuff.
Is that watching the fireworks? You're living the life, man.
I'll say Lord of the Rings actually is first. And then number 2, if I can't live in the Shire, then I'm going underground with the turtles.
All right.
Love it. So I have the honor of asking the last question. Every single person we've spoken to has actually said it is the most important question.
I'm ready.
What is your favorite color?
It is undoubtedly, unwaveringly green.
Green? You have a specific shade of green?
I have some favorites, but I'll always pick green. Yeah, I like a neon, bright ass, crazy. I like neon everything, but or like the opposite, like puke. I had this green Tool hat, the band Tool, when I was in like 3rd grade. I thought it was so cool. I got on the boardwalk, and it was like this ugly color green, but I liked it. And I remember my mom saying, "It's like puke." Like puke green, but I was like a compliment to me. I was like, "Whoa!"
You're like, "That's fucking badass."
Yeah,
that's metal.
Green, yeah. I like a very weird, ugly green, and then I also like a like you would paint a race car.
Hell yeah.
Anything. All my guitars are like pink and orange and green, and they're all neon.
I love that.
Hell yeah. So as Gloria said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
No, man, our record comes out September 9th. If you listen to us, thank you so much. And we're working on stuff, and we're going to be coming to your town. And I just, if you haven't listened to me before, then check it out. And if you have, I love you. That's it.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you for now. This has been Zach from Zachary Ross and The Divine, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.